The elves are marching to war. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Tales of the Age of Men, the Lord of the Rings modification that is currently very much in development but making absolutely amazing progress. And in one of the most recent updates to their Patreon, they have also gone ahead and implemented the Noldor Elves, which look very, very cool, and I thought it'd be fun to dive in with enhanced battle test and basically just show off these new units. There's a few other ones I want to dive into. I'll probably do 2 battles today, and then there's another video where I want to show off the new wood elves as well, who look really, really good. So let's start off by taking a look at their unit roster. Of course, everything is very much a work in progress. These are just the beginning of the elves. These aren't really the main focus of the current stuff that they're working on. They're really trying to focus in on getting Isengard, Gondor, Mordor, and Rohan up to standard, and a lot of these kind of side factions like the dwarves, the Noldor Elves, and other factions are kind of more just like on the backboners, slowly being worked towards. So obviously just keep that in mind. You'll also see right here with these shields, this has actually been fixed in the latest update. I haven't actually grabbed that quite yet. However, the shields and stuff like that, you know, again, you'll be seeing stuff like this throughout this battle. It's all just very much a work in progress. As I said, this isn't the main focus right now, and they are just obviously making sure that the other factions are more up to date. But again, stuff like that has actually been fixed already. So let's take a little look-see at the units really quickly. So of course, we have the Noldor archers. Again, I think there is only one armor set as of right now for the Noldor Elves, for at least their archers. They do actually have custom bows though, which are very, very cool. I believe all the swords are currently still being worked on, so they'll have vanilla swords. But yeah, these actual bows are completely custom made, which is very cool. I also believe as well their quivers are vanilla as well. But again, you know, it's very cool to kind of see these bows actually in, and again, they look very, very cool. All of this armor, I believe, is customized as well, depending on the color of your flag in game, which is cool. So it will change depending on whether or not you're like a blue flag, a red flag, etc. Again, adding a little bit more flavor to them. As we go further back, we obviously do have the infantry, and we can stick them into a shield wall, looking very nice indeed. These elves looking very deadly, and I can't wait until these guys maybe get a few more weapons and other things. I think that would be very nice. But yeah, they look great again when the shields are all fixed and stuff, which they are now actually fixed, just not in this patch that I'm using. Again, they look very, very awesome, and just obviously a very, very strong front line. Very, very good indeed. And yeah, going to be able to take anything down. They also have a unit of cavalry, so they have a bunch of these lighter cavalry. They have several variants of their horses actually, which is really interesting. So they have these guys right here with these big old spears. They have shields on their back as well if they want to utilize them. But again, they're going to be fast moving cavalry, nothing too crazy. And then over on this side, we probably have one of the stronger parts of the Elven forces right here, and these are going to be the horse archers. I imagine the horse archers are going to be absolutely just terrifying on the battlefield, being able to obviously master that bow and obviously the horsemanship at the same time. They're going to be crazy. Okay then, well, let's start the battle. I'm playing as Denethor right now, but we will just obviously take a look at things. Going up against us, we do have an army, kind of like a coalition of enemy forces right here as they push their way forward. We have Uruks right there set up with Haradrim, and I believe there's also, yeah, there's Dunland cavalry as well. So it's a mix of like Uruks and Orcs from Mordor. We have the Witch King himself back here. I also believe as well in the new patch there's a lot more custom horse armors as well, which is cool. I'm going to grab that for the next video we do. Again, the Uruks, and I think the Uruks have recently received the biggest update of them all because they've got a lot of their custom weapons in now, which is again super, super cool. So it doesn't seem like the enemy want to engage us. I mean, why not? Why not? Well, okay, that's fair enough to them. I mean, we could send off our cavalry to go and harass. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is exactly what the elves are all about, right? This is what the elves should be doing. They should be pushing forward their horse archers, harassing the enemy, and then retreating when they come into view. So let's make our way up. Again, looking absolutely glorious. Man, it's going to be absolutely amazing when this mod does come out. And I will say, the next playtest is getting closer and closer. They always said that the next playtest will come when they've got Mordor, Isengard, Rohan, and Gondor like pretty much fleshed out, which again, as I said, is getting closer and closer. They mainly want to focus on getting more coding stuff done at the moment. That's going to kind of be their next goal, is getting a lot of the coding mechanics done, which I think is, again, completely fair enough. So I don't think these guys can actually, yeah, these guys actually don't have the perk right now to shoot the bow on horseback, but what we can do, kind of use them like a dragoon unit. So we'll dismount them, kind of use them like a dragoon unit. So we'll dismount them, and then they'll fire, and then we just have to be quick. As soon as we see the enemy moving, we'll then have to obviously move them in. Obviously not the best. No, the horses, some of the horses. Okay, yeah, okay. What we do then, we need to bring these guys forward then, so they don't shoot their horses and disrupt them, because that's what basically just happened there. Okay, I didn't think it was completely forward, but I mean, so far, so good. I probably should have brought these guys further back, brought them forward. You can see the custom bows as well, looking very nice as they fire in the shots, harassing the enemy line. The Haradrim getting absolutely peppered right now. But I mean, again, these big tower shields that the Uruks have are basically unmatched. But what we can do is we can take these guys and we can probably just tell them to focus down the enemy cav here, right? That's what I'd much rather they do. So I'll bring them forward, get them to start shooting the enemy horses. Obviously, a lot of the shields are protecting them. But yeah, we are killing a lot of horses with them bows. And that's just, yeah, demolishing that front line. Very nice indeed. And whilst that is going on, we might as well bring up the rest of our forces. So let's bring the elves across here. Some more bowmen. And obviously we have our infantry line right there. I think that's Imrahil leading the infantry, pushing up as we go further and further forward. Now we do obviously need to be careful with these bowmen. They're getting a little bit too close. Let's bring them back a little bit. I'll also make sure I get my way up here as well to reinforce wherever we can. But yeah, the arrow fire, just again causing a lot more harassment to the enemy lines. I'm absolutely fine with that. The only downside is I have kind of initiated a lot of these horses, but I guess let's see. If we tell these guys to remount, will the majority of them get on back on their horses? Yeah, a lot of them can't because they already shot their horses away. But that's fine. So let's get these guys, I guess, a bit further, like around the flank. Wouldn't be a bad idea, because once the infantry lines clash, then these guys can harass. But I actually don't mind this being the case, but I imagine in the final build with the elves, they'll have that perk that allows them to shoot on horseback with a longbow. Now, the cavalry is pushed up. Our main archers are now firing, and this is obviously going to be the main strength when it comes to the elven bowmaster, right? The ability just to hammer down a lot of shots. Granted, this is an insane shield wall by the Uruks. These are some of the biggest Uruk units in the game I gave them. So again, they're going to be able to have these massive shields just to completely protect them. The Haradrim, necessarily not so much, but still, that's going to be fine. So I think this is actually going to be a really nice play. We're going to get our cavalry. We're going to bring them all the way up here. And we're going to dismount them like a proper dragoon unit. And we're going to fire down. I say that. The enemy have actually started pushing towards us. Interesting. Okay, so our cavalry, I guess now, that beautiful plan that I had devised that would have absolutely have annihilated the enemy has now gone a little bit as they push forward their pretty large-scale amount of infantry towards us. Now, I'm pretty tempted to retreat my way back across the river, right? They're having to push me. So yeah, I actually might push it back across the river because we can utilize that to our defenses. So let's actually do that. Let's do a bit of a fighting retreat. I'm going to tell these guys to actually fall back. So they'll basically fire, shoot arrows, fall back as they go. The infantry are going to get there a bit preemptively. Our archers back here are making their way up as well. Again, it'd be so nice if they could just shoot on horseback with these longbows, but not quite. Okay, so now let's get these guys into position. We're going to dismount them really quickly. And then they are going to set up their way up right here and basically just continue to harass the enemy from the back. I mean, this is some Elven level tactics right here, because now they can start firing in right on the backs of the enemy line and just, yeah, getting a lot of damage in. And if the enemy start turning back towards us, then these archers are obviously shooting a fighting retreat right now, can continue to harass them. So we should have pinned their line, but obviously they have a lot of infantry. So if they break us, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And then what we can do with these archers is we can then tell these guys to actually, no, wrong unit. Yeah, these guys, I can tell these guys to actually engage the enemy. So they're going to start pushing forward. So these guys are kind of firing and retreating back. We have our cavalry off on the side, which we can pull the way around. The infantry are set up. These archers now get in position. And then these guys are going to push forward as we're making our way closer, firing in shots as they get into the enemy line. Okay, here we go. I mean, the river is pretty brutal right there. So let's go. Boom. We'll tell the infantry to engage. I'll push forward. I wouldn't mind keeping the enemy line set up right there. And there we go. The battle lines are now completely clutched in. The enemy will be fighting. I'm not using RBM or anything. This is just simply vanilla. So I don't know how well we are going to actually stand right there. Okay, actually just hold line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Just, yeah, just stop. Hold the line, stop pushing into the enemy line, and then we just bring in the vice, right? We're utilizing these guys. Realistically, I maybe should have remounted there. We can then get these archers and then the cavalry as well. And where are we? Oh, Denethor. Denethor, my man, you are in the wrong position, okay? It doesn't look like we're going to be fighting in that then for a little while as the enemy line hits in against us. I mean, it's pretty messy. The shields are up and causing some mayhem right there. Yeah, not bad. Denethor, come on, please get back into the field. I would love to be able to engage. You're a bit far away, my friend. Yeah, look at that. These horses are now just up behind them, firing in shot after shot. This is deadly stuff. We'll continue just to let the volleys come in. Actually, say maybe not. Let's actually just go and tell these guys, hold fire. And now let's tell these guys to charge in. They'll whip out their swords. I don't think they're actually even equipped with swords. Okay, they're not even equipped with swords. But they don't need swords. They're going to be using their fists right now to go in and obviously help finish off the enemy. The Witch King is in here fighting for his life. No man can kill me. I am no man, I am an elf. But yeah, he swings like an absolute madman, cutting down enemies left, right, and center. And there we go. The rest of the enemy line is broken. Okay, cool, nice. I mean, they did pretty well in that engagement. The elves looking pretty strong. But let's see how they fare. Yeah, they defeated the forces of evil, granted. How will they fare, though, against a Dowie horde? Okay, no messing about right now. We are commanding a Dwarven force. Now, keep in mind, again, much like the elves, the dwarves are not the main focus of the, of the current progress. These guys are very much a work in progress. One of the biggest things is they don't have a lot of weapons or shields currently in the mod. However, their armors look impeccable. And again, this is a completely custom skeleton as well. As you guys can see, they're not just shortened humans. They're much, much cooler than that. Okay, well, already, no, come back, horsey. Can I not ride it? Can I not ride that horse now? Oh no, well I can't definitely now. Well, first things first, they are going to be charging, so let's make sure we deal with the elves right off the bat. They don't have any weapons though, that's so funny. Yeah, they just have them bows again. Working in progress, I'll say that again. Yeah, so that cavalry is going to be useless. Let's actually just tell our men to hold fire. Well, actually to give the elves a little bit of an advantage, right? Yeah, well, no, actually we're fine now. We'll let the elves push up there. I was going to give them the high ground and let them fire down on us for a little bit, but no, we'll push forward. Why not? They want to scrap. We'll give them a scrap. Look at their forces pushing forward. These bowmen are going to be brutal. Yeah, the bowmen are going to be firing. So shield wall, form a shield wall, and advance. Let's go. All right, we're going to push these guys up again. They're cavalry. Guys, you don't really... If I crouch... Yeah, if I crouch, I think we're good. The enemy cavalry coming behind, but again, we don't have to worry about how many weapons. That was my master plan. You arrogant, arrogant elves. How dare you? Yeah, and the Witch King just kills everything anyway. So let's set ourselves up here. I want to form up into a formation. We are taking the arrows quite nicely so far. All right, boys. Fire at will. Give them a volley. Let them have it. Oh, that was brutal. Yes. Again, that's what I want to see from my Dwarven counterparts right there. They might have some good... They might have some good bowmen, but at this range, they do not stand a chance. Look at the javelins just coming in. They are littering these elves, making them into pincushions right now. Okay, the infantry is now coming. All right, boys, hold fire. Oh, that volley as well was insane. Let's go. Let's see what the elves are made of as they clash against our line. If they had cavalry, they'd be much better off, honestly, right now. Let's just take down these soldiers as much as we can right now. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, nice. Very nice indeed. I knew I should have got rid of these units. Actually, I do have some good cavalry, though, but again, the rest of it is going to be going down. And then how are we faring on the front lines? I mean, it's pretty back and forth, honestly. I think probably because we're in shield wall. If we break shield wall and charge, be interested to see how they fare. We also have a bunch of these big old axe dudes as well. So we have some guys with javelins fighting. We have some dudes with mainly spears, but we also have these axe guard as well. So a lot of the weapons that the dwarfs are currently using are actually redundant weapons. But Bannerlord does do a good job of like downsizing depending on the person, which is always pretty impressive. But you can see this is an absolute slaughter. We are taking the elves apart right now. And I guess that really goes to show, you know, it comes down to the commander. When I have my hands on these guys, oh, we were a menace on the battlefield. And that's what I'm really looking forward to doing when this mod does fully come out. It's just like being able to use unique stuff like that, you know, being able to use the elves with their mobile cavalry to get around the back and fire in shots whilst we engage on the front line. That sounds really cool. But obviously every elf we lose is hopefully going to be really, really crucial. Like I think the elves definitely need to have like a big delay on their recruitment surpluses. When you go to villages and you recruit, I think it'd be really cool with the elves themselves, you know, you don't get them back very fast. It takes a lot of time. I think in general the time should be much more increased, you know, you shouldn't be getting new recruits every day, maybe every week or something. I think would be much better. But that's just my personal hardcore opinion. But there we go. I think the dwarfs, the Dowie, are going to be able to claim that one pretty nicely. Impressive indeed. And the Witch King is going to be very happy with his dedication of his Dwarven troops. So that's going to do it for today's video. A short one, but still I wanted to show off the new Elven units. Again, we are going to be showing off the Woodland realm going forward in the next video. So if you guys are looking forward to that, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Feel free to go and support the devs over on their Discord, wherever you're just going to go over and wish them good luck. You can also play the test build of this over on Nexus mods. Again, it's pretty old by this point, so much has changed, but if you still want to get in fight a few custom battles, you definitely can do. And then if you want to, you can support them for $5, I think is the cheapest Patreon level. And again, all that stuff is shown exactly where the money's going, to what, you know, what assets and stuff like that the money's going towards. And you can even vote on what they work on next and stuff. It's a really cool Patreon system if you want to go and support them a little bit more and get access to the latest build. As I said, I believe the next big playtest will be coming up fairly soon, actually, moving forward, which is very exciting. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, drop a like, drop a comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.